Gianna Jessen, it is really a pleasure and an honor for us to have you here today in Maria Vision, all the way from the USA, and with this tour that you are making in Italy to bring your testimony of life. Welcome to Loreto.
Thank you.
Welcome to Maria Vision.
Thank you.
I know you have been several times in Italy. It's not your first time.
No, 2012. Since 2012.
Since 2012, okay. But is this your first time in Loreto?
Yes.
Yes. And so that will be your first visit to the Holy House of Nazareth, right? Beautiful. It will be really fantastic to have your testimony inside the Basilica today, and inside the house where everything started for our Ecclesia. But let's talk about you, Gianna Jessen, 39 years old, right?
Oh, yes.
A brilliant light in your eyes, a wonderful smile, as everybody can see, and you're full of joy of life. But I know that on your ID card is written, born from a saline abortion.
Yes.
What happened?
I am adopted, and my biological parents were only 17 when they went to Planned Parenthood, the largest abortion provider in the world. They're all over the world, sometimes using a different name, but they're all over the world. And they said have a saline abortion at 7.5 months, so 29.5 weeks pregnant. I mean, that is
a baby.
Yes, and it's a baby from the beginning, but
yes,
many people don't realize on that point that you can hear a heartbeat at 16 days. And I find it curious that when you hear a heartbeat in any other capacity of life, in any other area of life, we say that person is alive,
yes,
except this one.
Except this.
If the baby's not convenient, the heartbeat is ignored. And so a saline abortion is a saline salt solution injected into the mother's womb. The baby gulps that solution, or swallows it. It burns the baby inside and out. It is to blind and suffocate the child, and then the baby is to be born dead within 24 hours. So after all of that, I was born alive. I was that baby, but I was born alive after 18 hours, born in an abortion clinic, not a hospital. Now, my enemies love to say that I'm lying because I have no burns on my body. But I have something very powerful called medical records. And they lay out in great detail everything that occurred. And what I found is that people that don't believe in God don't believe that He can protect you even in such a horrific situation. And He did. Now, I do have cerebral palsy as a result, but I'll pause for now.
No, carry on.
Well, it was a direct result of lack of oxygen to my brain while I was surviving an abortion, so I would not be disabled without having survived one. However, I'm not a victim. I'm a victor, and it's a great honor to limp all the way to heaven, leaning on the strong arm of Jesus, especially in a world that really doesn't want to hear about the real Jesus Christ. They'll listen to you when you're limping in front of them, or you need their arm to help you balance because I have interesting equilibrium, etc. But I was never supposed to hold up my head. I was never supposed to crawl or walk, and I serve the God who still makes the lame to walk.
You were blessed twice that day because you survived the abortion.
Yes.
And if I'm right, the doctor was not there.
Praise the Lord.
moment.
Yes. Had he been, the Lord delayed the doctor. It was 6 a.m. in the morning, so he wasn't at work yet. Had he been there, he would have ended my life with strangulation, suffocation, or leaving me there to die.
Because that is the point that I want to stress.
Yes. So they're viewing this as I want to do my job.
Exactly.
And so it gave the nurse time to call an ambulance and get me out of there. So I was only 2 pounds. So I would fit in the palm of your hand. And they expected me to die, and then after several months of not dying, they concluded that this baby girl has a tremendous will to live, and that I didn't want to die. And They're exactly right, because I still have that will inside of me. And so I spent a lot of time in the hospital, then placed in emergency foster care where I was mistreated. So I was taken from that home to another home where I was treated very well by a woman named Penny, whose daughter adopted me. So then Penny eventually became my grandmother. And I will say that Penny saved my heart. She saved my heart. She died 3 years ago, November 12th. She was 91. She had cared for 56 foster children as a single woman.
Wow.
And I was one of those children. So I wouldn't be here in Italy doing anything. I would be laying in a bed if it weren't for one woman and the grace of God. And I'm so grateful.
Fantastic. We have just come to close all the holy doors around the world. The year of mercy that so strongly Pope Francis wanted for this year, the Jubilee of Mercy, has just ended. Pope Francis wanted all of us to understand the real value of mercy and the real value of forgiveness. Now, in your case, were you able to forgive your biological mother, to forgive whatever happened to you?
Yes. All of that is due to the grace of God in my own life, and really knowing Jesus and needing Jesus as my Father, needing Him to help me walk, needing Him always. And so my biological mother came up to me at an event, unannounced, unannounced, and said, "Hi, I'm your mother." There was no warning, there was no anything, except the voice of God in my heart about 2 weeks prior to this. And the question was in my heart, "Gianna," or as the Italians would say, "Gianna, what would you do if your biological mother came to an event, and what would you say?" And he just kept questioning me about this, and I should have had a clue. But God, being the great Father that He is, He doesn't always fill you in on all the details. No. So she came up to me, and I immediately began to pray in my heart. And I said, "I'm a Christian and I forgive you." She said, "I don't want your forgiveness." And I said, "I'm a Christian and I forgive you." "I don't want your forgiveness. You're Father and you're this and you're that and you're this." And all of this shame and all of this rage. And then I just had this voice in my heart say, "Say this, Gianna." And I said, "I'm a Christian and I forgive you, but I will no longer allow you to speak to me in this way." And the reason I say that is because you asked me if I met her and if I've forgiven her. But many people feel like they must be defined by their abusive backgrounds or how they've been treated in life. I'm not defined by that. I'm not defined by what she said.
Sure.
She could have said, "I'm the worst." She could have said, "I'm the devil." And I would have just thought, "No, I'm God's girl, and I don't belong to you."
And that's how you like to call yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what
Don't mess with me. My Father runs the world.
And it's amazing because one in your condition would have maybe rebel against God, would have maybe get angry against God for His story, for His situation. You didn't do that. You really call yourself as the girl, God's girl. Exactly.
Yes, he's the whole point of everything.
You were able to turn all your weakness, all your sufferings into strength.
Well, I'll say that he still allows a lot of suffering in my life. And I don't, again, say that for pity or anything, but He really does allow very difficult things. I heard a very wise man say once, God allows in His wisdom what He could easily prevent by His power. And that is a great explanation for my life, that I spend my life laughing and also crying. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. So you see me smiling a lot because it's the fruit of a lot of suffering. And yes, you're right, God is my strength. And I don't think I could live the life I live without the suffering that I've known, but I also don't glorify suffering. I just accept it if it comes.
And it comes.
Yes, to all of us.
To all of us, exactly.
But a lot of us avoid process. Everyone says everyone has a difficult life. But you know, I've really been resenting that lately because I've been watching a lot of people choose a lot easier lives, a lot easier ways. You can choose to avoid process, or you can choose to go through the process and come to know Jesus. And there's a cost to either one. And a lot of times I think many people today are living very superficial lives because they want to avoid any kind of pain.
It's exactly that, no? That's what I think, behind any woman that decides to abort her child, there is always a man. There is always a man that doesn't want to take his responsibility, or a man that abandoned a woman.
Yes.
Do you have a word for us?
Yes. I would like to apologize to all the men listening on behalf of all of the irritating and controlling women of the world who are trying to make you be less like men and more like women. They're trying to put masculinity down. They're trying to say you're not to be masculine. That's shameful. Men are the equivalent of predators. That's all they are. No. No. I know that not every man is wonderful, but neither is every woman. We can be beautiful, but we can be a nightmare. The truth be told.
Yes.
And so first I would start with an apology because we have done so much harm to masculinity. Now, abortion then allows the man to and woman to avoid responsibility. But also here's something that's not being addressed, which is really bothering me among Christians, and that is everybody's just sleeping with everyone, having sex, you know, whenever they want and whatever, and nothing is honorable anymore, and nothing is sacred anymore, and men are made to be honorable and kind and courageous and brave and not passive. And every time a man is passive, he is inflicting invisible wounds on every single woman in his life, because it is the opposite of his nature, who is in the image of God. You are made in the image of God. And so it is contrary to your very heart, even if you don't know it, to leave a woman, to not protect her, to not be good. And so we're waiting. I mean, the angriest woman you'll ever meet is most likely still angry with her father, who never came through for her. So that's what I'd say.
And what about a young girl, like your biological mother could have been? What a young girl that finds herself in a situation in which she's left alone, she doesn't know what to do anymore, she's afraid about the family, and this is a very common situation.
Terrified,
What would you tell her?
I would say, listen, you think this is the camera. I will look right here.
The camera. Yes, tell her.
You think this is the end of your life, but really it's the beginning. And you can come to pro-life organizations. They're all around you. Just Google Pro Vita, Italy, or wherever you may be.
Centro Aiuto per la Vita in Italia.
Okay, thank you. And they'll help you. They will be confidential. They'll have resources for you. You're not alone. But you are just at the beginning of your life, not the end, and everything will be all right.
And there is also another category of people that I would like to ask you about. And there are those women that, for a reason or another reason, they took that decision.
Yes.
And they went through this dramatic event that maybe a marker for the rest of their life, because some of them, then after the abortion, they really get like a scar inside their soul that doesn't leave them. Do you have a word for them?
Yes, okay. There's no sin that Jesus can't forgive. And if there is a sin that Jesus can't forgive, then didn't he die in vain? So if you've had one or more abortions, or you're a man who's paid for an abortion, or you're a man who's used women, or whatever it is you've done, the beginning of your life begins with Jesus, running to him, confessing what you've done, asking for forgiveness, but then also asking him to help you to forgive yourself, to free you from the bondage of shame. Because how can the Lord be ashamed of your heart that he created? It's impossible.
It's impossible.
So, if you spend your life punishing yourself for something that you've done, then you're really just saying Jesus didn't do enough. You need to help him finish his job. And I would tell that woman it's time to be free, and also I would recommend biblical counseling and just a great healing process to just let go and live, because she's got time to live.
There is a sentence in one of your event, in one of your speeches that I was following, that really touched me. And when you say that if abortion is a woman's right,
then what were mine? If abortion is about women's rights, then what were mine? In fact, what they're doing is exploiting women for profit. And by the way, there wasn't a radical feminist in the abortion clinic that day saying, "Stop, stop, she's a woman, stop, it's a girl." No. And why is it that I'm precious as a sweet little disabled woman until the feminists or the progressives find out why I'm disabled? Then suddenly I'm to be reviled, I'm to be put down. Interesting.
Interesting. Scary.
Weird.
What scares me also is to understand how, here in Italy we live in a situation in which abortion is basically legal up to the third month, unless there are...
The third month, right?
Yes,
yeah,
yes, unless there are complications for the life of the mother. While in America the situation is completely different.
Yes. Are you asking me what
yes,
this is?
Yes,
what the situation?
The situation is completely different. Like what happened to you still happened.
Yes. I mean, the procedures can change, but you can have an abortion, unfortunately, in America up until all 9 months of the pregnancy. However, with the election of Trump, there's some very good news. Most people watching this will have heard 80% lies about Donald Trump. I want you to know. He has great power to change the Supreme Court. This has the potential to overturn Roe versus Wade, which would, if that happens, return the decision of abortion to individual states. In summary, this means that this would reduce enormous amounts of abortions. It would be earthquakes all throughout the entire world.
Hope is coming.
It would be like, oh my gosh, yes, yes, thank you, Jesus, or Jesus. Yeah.
I want to leave you with time is running. You have to run to give your testimony in the Basilica. But I want to leave you with one note on your singing. I heard your song. You sing beautifully. You have a fantastic voice. You're a singer.
Yes.
You sing. A movie has been made on your life. You run marathons, I saw.
Wow.
Come on.
Wow.
Come on.
I used to. Now I want to climb a mountain, though.
Okay, that's you see. So I was going to ask you, what is your dream? Do you have a...
I really
dream?
want
What's
to
your dream?
I really want to sing. I'd love to sing with Andrea Bocelli, actually.
Oh, okay. I hope he's watching us, so that you can...
Hi, ciao, Andrea. I really would love to sing with the best, to learn from the best, even if it wasn't on a stage. And I sometimes my birth kind of takes over everything, and the music gets lost. So to sing would be a relief to me. So I hope I can do more of that before I die.
Gianna, we thank you very much for your time. We thank you very much for being with us in Maria Vision. And it's really a pleasure and honor to have you here. God bless you. God bless your life. God bless your mission, the mission that God itself gave you. And as Saint Mother Teresa of Calcutta said about you, is just God that is using your life as a testimony to show how it's important to defend life, to hold men. Did you know that? She said that about you.
Yes, but I didn't know it until after the fact, and I was just out doing like grocery shopping or something, and someone was like, "Hey, Mother Teresa has just read." I'm like, "What?" So typical of my life.
Then have a good life. God bless you,
You
and thanks a million to being here with us.
Thank you.